Welcome back. So we are in week 5, and I thought I'd start off this week's video with talking about a little bit of a tip. I've had a lot of success in the program, so I feel good, feel lighter, clothes are fitting better. Things are cooking along really, really well for me. So this week I wanted to talk about some things that will be coming up for you, and this is going to be about self-sabotage. During the 12-week program for me in particular, this is going to come up. It hasn't hit me yet, but it will come up, and that's self-sabotage. It's nobody's immune to this. Typically, halfway through the program, between weeks 4 and 7, I will say, people typically run into situations where they start to sabotage themselves and kind of go off the rails. So if you're following along on the program and you're experiencing success in your own journey, that's great. Success is happening. The feeling of making progress is euphoric and awesome. But you may find that you and your success are being affected by something that I call the critter brain alarm. So you see, when change begins to happen, our critter brain starts to sound some alarms that will cause elevations and compulsions to slide back into old destructive habits. Whether that's binge eating, starving yourself, doing some hardcore militant exercising, or depriving yourself of something, our critter brains are wanting things to stay the same. And when that starts to happen, we can kind of start to fall off the rails a little bit. So why does this happen? Why, when all we want to do is improve ourselves and make our bodies better, feel healthier and happier, it's like our body is fighting us with the results that we want to get. So this has to do with our critter brain or our limbic system. So this system is the part of us that's responsible for our emotional spectrum. And that's the system that responds to stress, fear, and anxiety. Change is happening, but the critter brain wants everything to remain the same. And you will feel subtle changes, subtle emotions driving this behavior. And that's just your critter brain wanting things to go back to a normal state, the state it was in before the change started happening. Because change to the critter brain is very uncomfortable. So what can you do to keep the momentum going and keep the critter brain happy and calm? So this week I wanted to share with you some things as far as becoming aware. And prevention is the key to everything, right? So becoming aware that self-sabotage is coming and that it's going to happen. I have some things as far as signs or signposts that you can look out for so that you're aware before it starts to happen, and it'll be less likely that you'll fall off the rails when you start to notice these things. So the first sign that self-sabotage is coming is that things are going really awesome. Clothes are fitting better, you're feeling good, like I am. I feel great. I'm down quite a bit already. Clothes are fitting good and better, a little bit looser. As a matter of fact, I've got more energy, and you may feel that as well. The second thing to be aware of is that you want to reward yourself because you are having this success. You tell yourself, I've been doing good and well, and I can take a break from a workout. I can have this little cheat meal. I can go out with my friends. You can do something as a way of reward. Lastly, and this is the kicker, you do it again. Now you've had success, you're feeling pretty good. I can splurge a little bit on myself. You do it once and you find out, that wasn't so bad. It didn't affect my results too much. And then you do it again and again sometimes. And that's when things start to fall off. You start to get off track. And this process is so subtle. And until you're aware of it, you can derail yourself and stop your forward momentum and your progress. But knowing that it's coming is the key to preventing it from becoming a very big detriment to your success. So what's this underlying reason? Why is all this happening again? Becoming aware of it is one. Prevention is the key. Identifying some of those signs and feelings and emotions that you're experiencing is one thing. But the underlying reason of why all this is happening is our human brain doesn't realize it, because our critter brain is at work, and it's due to one main thing, and that's fear. So when I work with a client and we dive into the drivers for self-sabotage, we start to identify at least one of these three areas that primarily affects your success in this area. One of those drivers is the desire for acceptance. I mean, we all do things in some way, shape, or form to be accepted by our peers or family members or others. The other thing is something always seems more important than getting the work done. Something's always more important than doing meal prep. Something's always more important than doing this workout. I've got this practice that I've got to go to for my kids, or I'm really tired today and I think I really need the rest. And we'll talk about rest in another video sometime during this program, but something always comes up that seems really more important. And the last thing is the reward system I already talked about. You've been doing so good, you deserve a little bit of a break, and I deserve a little extra is the mindset that comes in. And I tend to fall in that last camp. I make a lot of progress in the beginning, and then I feel, hey, I'm doing pretty good. I can afford this cheap meal. I can go out with the friends and the family and kind of hang out and cut up a little bit and not have to worry about too much. I'll just get back on track after this day is done, type of a thing. So I wanted to give you some action steps to kind of ward off all of these self-sabotage things that would come up. So this week you may be experiencing some or all of these issues coming up. If you're not experiencing them yet, you will experience them at some part of your journey. So some action steps to try to help ward it off that you can put in your toolbox are: one, look for the signs. Look for the signs like I mentioned previous in the video. You can pause here, back up, and look at them again. But look out for those things that might be coming up. The second thing is check in with your motivating factor. Go back and look at the reason why you're doing all of this stuff. You're doing it for a reason. You have a big reason for doing this. I hope you have a big reason for doing this, other than I just want to lose weight. It has to be a real significant driver. Mine was not only weight loss and clothes fitting better, but I wanted more energy. I wanted to have the energy available to spend time with my friends and family. The third thing is know that it's normal. This is a normal thing that's going to happen. I'm making you aware of it now that it's going to happen to you and that you're not broken. Nobody is immune from self-sabotage. It is going to show up sometime during the journey. And fourth is the big one, and that's becoming aware. Become hyper aware of what's going to happen and what's coming up. Become hyper aware of any of the temptations to derail you or sabotage you. And you can ask yourself some questions. I got this one up right now. What problem are you trying to solve or avoid with this type of behavior? Why do you feel the need to work out hard? Why do you feel the need to skip some meals? Ask yourself those questions and kind of dig into it for yourself a little bit is always good. And then the next question to ask yourself is, what might be a better way to cope with this feeling that I'm experiencing right now? What's a healthier alternative to doing militant exercise? Is it meditation? Do I need to have a conversation with my accountability partner and tell them what's going on? Check in with somebody. And lastly, you can reach out to me for help. You can send me an email. I do have a nice little worksheet that I send to my clients to help prepare them for self-sabotage when it starts to arise. Or you can schedule a session with me. You can send me an email and I can send you a link so you can book some time, do a 30-minute talk, try to dive into some things that might come up with self-sabotage. Or you can check me out on my Facebook page. I've got a booking tool there where you can book a session or leave a comment if you want the worksheet. You can leave a comment at the bottom of this video, or you can leave a comment on the Facebook page, or just simply send me an email and I'll get back to you and send you that information or have a chat with you. So that wraps up week 5. So I've made some progress, given you a couple of tips for identifying self-sabotage when it comes up. Next week, I'll take it a little bit further and talk about another tool I use with myself and my clients that also addresses self-sabotage and how to shift things slightly that will make a big difference in how you handle those times of self-sabotage and prevent them from coming up and derailing you. So be on the lookout for that in the next week's video. The rest of this video is going to be some shots of me working out over the week, just a couple of them. Didn't have a lot of time to record a lot of information this week, so watch those at your leisure. Some of them can be pretty comical, but enjoy those. So until then, I'll see you in the next video. Hey everybody, it is week 5, so this week I'm actually going into the office. So didn't get a chance to do my cardio this morning, but fortunately in the office we do have a small gym, so I will be doing some treadmill work at the office. So I will get my 30 minutes in here and hop and do some of my work. So there I am in the mirror. Got a little bit of some equipment in here. Still have some social distancing practices in place, but figure since I'm in the office, might as well use some of the facilities that are here. So we've got a few pieces of equipment. We'll be able to use them, and I'll be on the treadmill and get my 30 minutes in. I will get that done, and we'll shoot some more video later.
Time for some cardio. Day 2 of week 5. Week 5. Get on the headset. I think I'll go and explore mine today. So, here we go. Cardio done. See you in the evening session. Alright, so it's day 2 of week 5, and I'm getting ready to do some resistance band training. Today is chest and back, and I will do 3 different movements with the resistance bands, but I'll just demonstrate the first set of each one so you guys can see it in the video. It doesn't get too long. So bear with me as I try to get this all orchestrated so you can see, but you'll be able to see at least 3 movements for chest and 3 movements for back using some of the equipment that I've got here right at home without going to a gym. So stay tuned. Okay, so for this next exercise we're going to do a chest fly. So you've seen what we call the butterfly machine in the gym, where you put your arms in, sit down on the machine, you adjust your weight, and you're kind of compressing the machine that way. Well, you can also do it cable style. You know, you've seen the guys in the gym with the cables and they're doing the flies that way. It's a chest movement. They say it's designed to work the inner pec. I find it works more with my outer pec. But you can do the same thing with the band. So I'm using my pole still here again. And what I've got, I just looped the band. So let's take this one off real quick to show you. I took the band, wrapped it around the pole, opened up one end, put it in, just cross them over, pull it tight. And then I've got my fly machine. So the fly movement, I'll have to angle the camera here a bit. The fly movement, you can stretch yourself out, and I give myself a little bit of a turn so I can get a good stretch on my pec. And then it's just bringing your arm across your chest. So try not to bend your arm this way. In other words, don't flex your bicep. Just like you're hugging a tree with one arm. And you can do single arm flies, just like you would on a cable machine at a gym. And then to do the other side, you just flip around the other side, do the same thing. Okay, so the first movement is going to be using one of the smaller bands, so I work my way up. I start with the smallest band, go up to a next size up band, and if I'm feeling real aggressive, I'll do another band, which is a little bit thicker to provide some more resistance. But a lot of us don't have a lot of equipment. I picked these up again. I picked them up real cheap. They're $65 for a set. But I do it in my basement. So I've got a pole over here to my left. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of out of the camera view. Turn a little bit so you can see. So I got a pole right here that I can use for some of my resistance band training. And I can do a basic bench press type movement with this, which I will show you. Very easy to do. I can also do some chest flies. You've got 3 basic levels to your chest. You got an upper, middle, and a lower. And you can hit all 3 doing some of these movements, just slightly modifying the angle. So I will demonstrate this first one for you, and then I'll show you the next type of movement you can do with a band if you don't have a pole. So I'll just wrap it around the pole like so, reach behind my back to get the band. And with this, you can modify your position. So you can do a incline, you can do a straight out press, and if you put the band up higher, you can even do some declines. So those are 3 different ways that you can do a pole for a chest movement. If you don't have a pole, another simple way you can do a chest movement without any equipment other than your body is to take this band and put it behind your back, put your hands through the loops, and then press. So it takes a little bit of maneuvering, get it just right on your back. You can do the same movement. So you can do a decline, lower it down on your back a little bit. You can do a flat press, lower it down on your back a little bit more. You can even do an incline. So you can do a chest movement with this with just your body. You can use a pole. I also have another attachment that I can hang on the door. It's called a door anchor. Put it on the top of the door, side of the door, bottom of the door, close the door, and then you got your own piece of equipment using the anchor. You can also do this with push-ups. So I'm going to have to reposition the camera, but same way you do when you go behind your back pushing with nothing, you can do that same movement on the floor. So you go down on the floor, get up in the push-up position, and you just push up off the floor. Give you a little bit more stability, and you can change the angle of your body as you go. So I'm going to get these done, and then I'll show you another movement for chest. Alright, for the third and final chest move that I do, because I only do 3 movements per body part, we'll be focusing on the lower chest region. And for this one, we're going to do the same type of chest pressing movement that we did before, only this time we're going to change our hand position. So you see my fingers are pointing up. We call this palms up. I do anyway. The palms up is where you're regularly pressing. Well, to get more of a dynamic activation of your lower pec, you can do a simple thing with your hands so you can target that lower chest region a lot better. And you ready for it? This is the simple move. Very, very simple. Watch closely. See that? I turn my palms up. So it's a little bit difficult to do this type of maneuver with it around your back like this. I mean, I can still get it done, but the band kind of separates on my back. So this type of movement, I'll either use my door anchor and just lodge it in the door jamb, or since I've got my handy pole here, I'll use the pole. But palms up and press out with the band, and you can use the handles that come with this attachment, or if you got the tube style band, just flip your palms up and press. You'll find it focuses more of the attention on your lower pec, a little bit of tricep action, but it's a great move for the lower pecs. So give it a try. Okay, so for this next move, I like to do a little bit of low pulling rows when I'm in the gym. So you sit on the bench, you grab a V-bar, you grab a straight bar, and you pull the bar up to your chest. But with bands it's a little bit different, but you can still do the same similar type movement. Just requires a little bit of modification. So what I do is I put the band around my feet like so, and then I can loop it so it kind of attaches to my feet like this, and I've got my low pulley rope. So I can lean back a little bit and pull the band to my belly like you would if you were in a machine. Nice and simple. And you can grab the band lower if you want to increase the resistance, provide a little bit more weight. And again, depending on your hand position, you loop it around, palms down, palms up, you do the same thing. You still got your your resistance. Again, you can increase the band size as you go, but it's just like sitting in the machine, only your body is the machine. Your limitations are really only in your mind. So if you remove the limitations of what's possible, instead of saying I can't, so discovering ways that you can, then you'll be good to go. So remove those limiting beliefs about what you can and can't do because you can't go to a gym. You can do it with bands, you can do it with anything basically. Get some milk jugs and lift some weights, do some arm curls that way. But that's one movement that you can do to get some low back moves, work the lower lats without the use of a machine. Just get some bands and you're good to go. It's cheaper to pay $65 one time for me than it is to pay $30, $40, $50, $60 a month for an entire year. This is the one and done. These things are super strong. I haven't broken one yet. That doesn't mean I won't, but very reliable. So that's a great alternative for me. So I'm gonna finish knocking these out, then I'll show you the next movement. Okay, so the next movement is a one-arm bent over row. So we usually call them dumbbell rows when we were in the gym, except for that I'm not in the gym. So I'm just using this kettlebell. I've got a couple of these small kettlebells just to show you, to refresh your memory on what a single arm dumbbell row is. And if you got kettlebells, great, use them. But dumbbell row, you want to try to get your back flat, and then just row to your hip. So it's like a rowing motion. Back and forth, rowing motion. Try not to arch your back when you do this. But what if you don't have a kettlebell? What if you don't have dumbbells? Do the same thing with a band. So with the band, it's a little bit different. Get these out of the way. With the band, you can do the same thing. Put a foot here. Put a foot there. But I got slack. How in the heck am I going to do a row with the slack? Well, the other end doesn't have slack in it. I got a single arm row right here. So same principle, pulling up to your waist, to your hip. You can grab both, add a little bit more resistance. And I am just standing like so. You can see what I'm doing. Keeping my back straight. I can adjust my hand position, get some more tension. You can do a single arm dumbbell row with a band. And obviously there's quite a wide variety of variations that you can accomplish this same movement with, depending on your strength level, what type of band you have. That's just one way to get a single arm row in. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my single arm rows, and I'll show you the next movement. The 8-inch channel that's supporting the home, so I figure it can support me. So I'll go ahead and crank out some of these moves. And again, just like you would use a lat machine, the only difference is I'll just be on the ground. And what I really like about this movement is that not only do I have the versatility of doing either palms in or palms away, but I can also have constant tension and increasing tension as I pull. So the amount of resistance obviously can be increased with the type of band you use. So I can put multiple bands on here, or I can just increase the band size. But when you pull down, so the band is stretching right now underneath my weight, but the more I pull on the band, the stronger the resistance gets. So you can see my arms shake a little bit when I'm pulling down like this. So mainly because I haven't been working out in a while, but as you pull, the resistance increases. So it's more of a progressive load when you use a resistance band, because it's not the same weight that you're just continually repping out repetitions. But with this one, you can do less reps and get a more effective workout. And you can vary your intensity and your speed. So you can do them real fast and get a lot of blood pumping into the back, or you can do them really, really slow and allow more time under tension, if that's your goal, to increase your muscle size and strength. So that's the pull downs. Again, on a beam up in the ceiling. I'm just going to do a few reps of that and get my sets knocked out, and then that'll wrap up my resistance training, and then it'll be on to the cardio machine. I'm not going to film any of that. You guys have seen it enough already, so this will be the end of day 2, week 5. So I'll crank these out, and I'll see you next time.